She rose from almost total obscurity to become one of the most talked about women in Britain today. Her every move, her every statement is guaranteed headline news.
I'm Geri Halliwell. I'm one of the Spice Girls, known as Ginger Spice. I'm 24 and I'm a Leo.
Geri was born in Watford on August 6th, 1972.
I have memories of being in a womb, but no one believes me. You know, like when you're swimming underwater, that sort of vibe, and you're all safe from the world. And just saying hi to everyone when I was, you know, being pushed down the street to people that I didn't know. You know, so I've always been a very friendly kind of girl.
Geri was brought up by her Spanish mother, Anna Marie, after her father abandoned them.
I would say I'm like a mixed breed mongrel dog, basically. You know, I'm half Spanish. My father was Swedish. You know, I've got a tiny bit of English and a bit of French. So like a good mix, you know, like a mongrel dog. My mum was, you know, she was working basically, and I had to look after myself. You know, so I've never had to rely on a man. You know, whether that's a good thing or a bad thing.
But despite being one of the most fancied women around, Geri grew up as a plain child.
I was very poor as a child, you know what I mean? I was the flea bag at school, and you know, we'd never had any money. So that sort of drove me to think, right, you know, I want to achieve something, I want to, you know, make something of myself. I was really underdeveloped as a kid. I was the last one to get boobs. You know, I just looked about 6 when I was 12, you know. And I remember this guy, and we were slow dancing to I think it was Cherish, you know, Cool in the Gang or something like that. And he went to put his hands up my top, and there was nothing there, and I was really embarrassed because I didn't even wear a bra. And I went, oh, sorry. And he tried to snog me, and I was like, and I had to wipe my mouth. You know, at 12, I was a waitress in Covent Garden, and that was quite good because I used to get loads of tips from all the foreigners. They think, oh, isn't she sweet? You know, I was about this big, you know, walking around with a tray. I used to work in a market stall for dressing up clothes, and I didn't realise, but the guy that used to run the store, I was all innocent, he'd get me in a nurse's outfit all day long. I didn't realise till later why he'd done that. I've worked in a fish and chip shop, I've taught aerobics, worked behind a bar, I've been a topless model, you know, I've done all sorts of things, you know what I mean? I've been a game show hostess. I think the whole of England know my CV by now. It doesn't matter, you know, who you are, what you look like. I'm not the most, I wouldn't say I'm terribly, you know, pretty or, you know, I haven't got fantastic singing voice. But, you know, I just got an enthusiasm for life, really, you know, and trying things out. And just to prove that you don't have to be a set, you know, stereotype to be something. I went to an agent for presenters, and they actually took me on with no experience. And, you know, I did a pilot for live TV. And then I just started, you know, doing what I was doing now, and I made a choice, basically, and that was 4 years down the line where there was no guarantees or certainties, but I've always gone on my gut instinct. I said, do you think a girl band would work, or do you think a solo artist would work? And he goes, girl bands, I remember this guy said to me, girl bands do not work. And again, that just hit me, and I thought, hold on a minute, you know, you can't say that. And that determined me more. It felt in my gut instinct said a girl band could work. 5 girls on a mission, freedom fighters, you know, going to take on, you know, the world, basically, to show that, you know, girls, you know, you can do it. I've learned so much from them, as I hope they have from me. You know, it's like a real team effort. I think that's the way forward, you know, in groups, you know, community. It's like that, and that living in a house together, you know, there was a sense of chaos, there was a sense of fun. It felt like at the beginning, it was brilliant. It was like 5 girls on a mission, freedom fighters, you know, going to take on, you know, the world, basically, to show that, you know, girls, you know, you can do it. I just looked at other girls and I felt they were so talented, do you know what I mean? Some brilliant voices there, and collectively, it was just like we're vibing off each other. You know, we're all very expressionate and creative people, you know, you know, there's a lot of scepticism out there, you know, but we managed to sit down and harmonise together, write together. You know, I just thought, this is something fantastic. And do you know, the best thing that gives me the greatest feeling is female solidarity. What we preach about our philosophies, girls controlling our destiny, you know, taking control of our lives, that is exactly what we do. We sit round on a table. It's like Knights of the Round Table. you know, the five of us sit around and discuss, you know, what is good for the five of us. You know, we all have an input. I can go on and shout about girl power, blah, 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 and then everyone could say, oh, well, why don't you just be quiet and, you know, and shut up. But I think what we're doing and achieving is a statement in itself.
What the Spice Girls have done is capture the mood of 90s woman.
I think collectively we always thought it was more than a band. It's a sense of fun. I mean, I talk serious, you know, on a serious note, but, you know, of course I've got a sense of fun and liberation within me as well. But, you know, whether it's a political vehicle, I wouldn't go to that extent. You know, at the moment I'm only, you know, 24 years old. But I tell you, I would say, you know, what we're doing is more of a thought-provoking, pressing buttons. That's what it's about.
But the fame game has its price.
I've got more money. I get driven around everywhere I go. And, well, not everywhere I go. You do lose a sense of freedom in the sense that your time has to be spread and coordinated. You know, everything you do is like you're either going here or there, you know, to interview that, you know, interviews and things like that. It's obvious. It's just like, you know, time and money. You never get the same things at once, do you? In 10 years' time, you know, I hope. I mean, you never know. You know, I might end up drifting into obscurity and, you know, being a hippie on the beach. But then again, you know, if all goes well, it'd be great if, you know, in some way Spice Girls were still going. You know, I remember one of the first things I ever said on telly, and we had to describe ourselves. And the first thing I ever said was, I'm mad, but there's a method in my madness. So long as there is always a method in my madness,